to Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Miss P, Tom Ford, Mike Miller. Good to see you all in the chat early. Make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat. As always, as we move through the show, super chats are always open. And let's really hit those memberships tonight. We are almost up to 100 active members here on the show and or on the channel, and I want to continue that trend. I thought that was really awesome last night. I want to thank you guys for donating 40 memberships last night. That was absolutely amazing. So I want to do that. I want to continue that theme and continue that drive, man. I feel like that's very important. And let's like the show, share the show, and continue on here. And thank you to all the OGs of the channel that are here each and every night, man. You guys are definitely noticed and appreciated, and I'm very humbled to have all of you each and every night here talking football. So definitely want to dive in. What's up, Steelers Nation 91, TD? What's up, Doug P? What's up? Good to see you guys in the chat, man. But I want to talk about George Pickens and what Mel Blount said about him. I can't get it out of my head after I saw it on Big Ben's show. Mel Blount was on there, and I don't know. I didn't even look at the date. I don't know if it's even new or old, but I can't get it out of my head with what Mel Blount was talking about with George Pickens. What's up, JD? Good to see you, my friend. What's up, another Wallenblatt? Yeah, he is being honest, man, and I can't get it out of my head, and it's troublesome for me. And there's a lot of questions that I want to answer here tonight. It's new, okay, Miss P. I didn't even look at it. I was just watching it because I like to watch some of the old time stuff. Steelers guys of the '70s, and Mel Blount's one of my favorite Steelers of all time. And when he was when he was having that conversation with Ben, this little sequence of talking about George Pickens and what he had to say and talking about the attitude, talking about the effort. It was troublesome to me, and there's a lot I want to talk about with that because can George Pickens get right? Is there something wrong? Or are we blowing this out of proportion? Was Mel Blount blowing it out of proportion? Or is there nothing wrong with George Pickens? And this is just a product of today's NFL player. Is that the case? I want to answer those questions, and I want to talk about those things because I think that it's of significant importance. Because if you're talking about that, and that's how people around that organization feel about that player, that there is a lack of effort, that there is an attitude problem. You saw that with a guy like Deontay Johnson. They got him up out of there. You saw it with a guy like Antonio Brown. They got him up out of there. And he was the best wide receiver in the game, if not ever of all time for Steelers history. And that's saying something when you've had guys like Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. You've had Hines Ward. You've had the Plexico Burress. You've had super talented people all over that roster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now you find yourself with George Pickens and you find yourself with DK Metcalf now. And does it make you want to say to yourself, what the hell are we doing? And use George Pickens as trade bait? Or does that regress this roster into back to a one-trick pony almost at the wide receiver spot? Do you want to see those two guys, GP and DK Metcalf, together? Or is the attitude and the effort really something that got to be looked at? All you can hear out there right now in the podcast realm is Aaron Rodgers this or Aaron Rodgers that, the quarterback situation this or that. Will the Steelers get fleeced now by the Minnesota Vikings? Is Aaron Rodgers retiring? That's all you hear. You don't hear about anything else. You may hear about this Jalen Milroe talk now that we'll dive into that later because I don't know if that's the correct move for the Pittsburgh Steelers when you're talking about quarterbacks of the future. But again, we'll dive into all that later. But I wonder to myself, does the George Pickens situation really trouble fans so much that they would be willing to utilize him as trade bait and get him up out of here? Because, guys, you can control George Pickens for the next 2 seasons easily. Easily. You can let him ride out this year on this last year of his deal. You can franchise him next year and then figure it out after that. You could get your money's worth out of him. You could get the good up out of George Pickens if you're the Steelers, and that's where they sit with him right now, guys. You could have 2 years of DK Metcalf and George Pickens, and it not bust your whole franchise. It could not destroy your whole salary cap. You could get it done. And that's all what we're going to dive in here to tonight. And we will get your comments, questions, and concerns about it. Are we getting some new players for the Steelers? Absolutely, we will, Mike. No doubt. The draft's coming up. The rest of free agency. Are there still players out there that can contribute to this football team? And the answer to that question is absolutely yes. What's up, Thomas? Doug P. Just seen the old guy saying it like it is. Yeah. He is saying it like it is. I put a short out of it. As soon as I watched it, it was Mel Blount saying, you can't have guys on your football team that have bad attitudes, that exhibit poor effort. You can't have that. And who better to know than a 4-time Super Bowl champion, an absolute NFL legend, a really solid man in Mel Blount, a guy that came from humble beginnings, a guy that battled his way through everything at the time that he had to deal with. Coming from an HBCU at the time when Bill Nunn was the real leader in getting guys from that HBCU, him, Chuck Noll, finding guys from HBCUs and bringing them along and getting them into the NFL and making it somewhere that young men could go and get to reach their dream. Here we are with Mel Blount, a guy that's done it all, a guy that's been everywhere in the NFL. Just saying, I think his opinion matters, and matters in a big, big way, my friends, and it can't be discounted. And he is telling you exactly what is wrong with this Pittsburgh Steelers team. And is that a direct reflection of Mike Tomlin or George Pickens the person or George Pickens the player? Or is this a direct reflection of the NFL as a whole or the franchise of the Pittsburgh Steelers by themselves? Is this what they're allowing to go on? And is this the issue? Or have the Pittsburgh Steelers' troubles been maybe blown out of proportion a little bit? Are the Steelers really rebuilding this team but still remaining competitive? Or are they trapped in this rut of just allowing anything to go on? It doesn't matter. They just need to be competitive, just need to be mediocre, to just keep the fan base happy. Is that what they're aiming for? I'm wondering, guys. I'm really, really wondering. And if the Steelers trade George Pickens here in 2025, is that screaming out to you as a fan that they're not trying to win in 2025? That they're not all in on this season? I mean, these questions run really, really deep, guys. They do. You're used to a football team that is there every year. They're making the playoffs. They're there. But you know deep down in your heart, they're not going to win in the first round of the playoffs. They're not going to be able to get it done. They're just there. They're just there. All right, guys, let's keep going. Zach Curry in the house, best Steelers chat on the planet. Thank you, man. We're doing good over here, Thomas. Hope you're doing well. Story, it's all right. Robert Road in the house. Mel Blount is the greatest cornerback in Steelers history. I am old enough to have seen his 11 interceptions in 14-game seasons. Teams only passed 35% of the time back then. Yeah, Mel Blount was an absolute game changer, guys. Mel Blount was a reason that rules were changed. And you know my philosophy about that when we talk about players that change the game, that are innovative, that make rules, that force the hand of rules at the NFL level. I think that is a player that is irreplaceable, a player that is a legend of the game, not just for the Steelers, but a legend for the game. And you hear what Robert's statistics said there. 11 interceptions over 14 games in a league that most teams pass 35% of the time. Let that sink into you a little bit. A guy that was absolutely feared by everyone for his ability to come downhill and lay the lumber to you. They don't make players like Mel Blount anymore. The rules don't allow it. Players like Mel Blount just don't come out all the time. And if he's going to tell you that the Steelers are doing something wrong here, they're allowing bad attitudes and poor effort to contaminate their building, contaminate their franchise. There's something to it, guys. Quit with the Aaron Rodgers talk. Quit with the quarterback bullshit. It don't matter. The Steelers sit where they sit right now, and their plan isn't going to change. I keep telling you that. I said it before, saying that was sexy. You hear a lot of people say, well, the Steelers are in their spot. This is it. I've been telling you that. The Steelers' plan doesn't change, whether you get Aaron Rodgers or not. So let's talk about maybe something that's really contaminating this roster, something that's really holding this team back. And is that what Mel Blount is telling you? A guy that's been on championship teams, 4 of them, that knows exactly what it takes to be a champion, that knows exactly what it takes to be a legend of this game. And if you're Mike Tomlin, and if you're this franchise, why are you allowing players to do this when legends of your franchise, legends of the NFL are noticing the bullshit and are bluntly, no pun intended, telling you exactly that it's a problem and that you can't win with those guys? You can't reach the mountaintop with those types of players. It can't be done. It can't be done. And I hear a lot of people out there in the world today that do these shows, that talk football, that talk about it. It's just the NFL player of today. It is what it is. You guys are overblowing the attitudes. You're overblowing that stuff. George does it. If you're not giving 110 fucking percent every damn snap, if your attitude stinks, you're of no use to the franchise. I don't care how good you are. Period. It doesn't matter, guys. So quit overlooking this stuff. This stuff matters. And some people say it's corny and cliche and who cares? It's all about stats. No, it isn't. It's not all about numbers. Sometimes it's about what's in here. That's what it's about. And I had a show not long ago talking about how the Steelers have lost their way and they're not the Pittsburgh Steelers anymore. They're not that proud franchise anymore. Well, you want to know how you get to that spot to where you're not that franchise anymore? It's by letting players like George Pickens act the way he does. And this is a public service announcement, and I hope you hear it, George. I hope you're seeing me right now, George, or you watch this down the road at some point. I hope somebody shares it with you. And this isn't out of a place of ignorance or a place of me not liking George Pickens. That's not the case, because I want to see him succeed. He is ultra talented. He has all the athletic tools that it takes to be a legend in the game of football at the NFL level. But George, this is what I tell you today, and I hope you hear it. You have to wake up. Wake up! And I hope somebody in your camp grabs you and shakes you and says, wake up, young man. You have it all at your fingertips, but you're letting it go. You're letting this moment pass you by because you think you're bigger than the team. You think you're bigger than the game. And if something doesn't go your way, you're going to pout. You're going to cause chaos. You're not going to give 100% effort. And that's not going to get you anywhere, young man. It's going to get you out of the league. It's going to have you miss some paydays, my friend. Get yourself right. And when you come into Latrobe, Pennsylvania, if you don't get traded off here on draft day, if you don't get traded off before that, go into Latrobe, Pennsylvania. Go into these mini camps on the south side at the Rooney Sports Complex. Go into those things and be a leader. Show your worth. Don't let things bother you. Don't pout when things don't go your way. If you don't get 10 targets in a game, 10 to 15 targets in a game, don't cry about it. Don't come out the next week and give yourself half effort. Don't come out and go half-ass on a play and then expect the quarterback to want to come your way just because you're George Pickens. Don't expect that. Give 100% every snap and things will happen big for you. Good things will happen for you. Quarterbacks will love you. Why? Because you're going so hard and they're going to see that effort and it's going to translate to big, big things for you. Bigger than you could ever imagine. But you're allowing this moment to pass you by, man. And your attitude sucks. And I could point out many examples, guys. I watch lots and lots of Steelers football, and it's just not the one instance where he half-assed it in the Chiefs game and caused an interception. And people can argue that that was Russ's fault, whatever. It's bullshit. You're not watching it. Turn up the all-22 tape. Watch it from above. Watch everybody on the play. And you tell me how he didn't cause that interception. You can't explain that in any other way that he didn't cause that interception. But that's just not the only time. That's not it. George, wake up, my friend. You have the world at your fingertips. Seize the moment. You have a chance to play with DK Metcalf, a physical freak of nature that is going to draw massive attention. Massive attention from defenses. And what is that going to do for you, George? Open you up in a big, big, big way. It's going to give you favorable matchups every single game over and over and over. And if you earn the trust of whoever your quarterback is going to be, and God willing it's Mason Rudolph and you already have a rapport built with him, he is going to fire your way constantly, and you are going to be the benefactor of having a guy like DK Metcalf. You're going to blossom into something really, really special, man. Your numbers are going to be insane. Wake up, George Pickens. Wake up. This is your wake-up call. I may not be the guy that should be giving it to you, but I'm giving it to you. It's a wake-up call for you, George. And if you want to blow me off, that's fine. If you don't ever see it, that's fine, whatever. But my Lord, don't waste this chance. People kill for these chances, man. Don't waste it. Don't waste the gifts God gave you. You are blessed, my friend. Blessed. Utilize that, man. I just cannot emphasize it enough. And when people like Mel Blount are looking at you and saying that these issues are there and they exist and they're a problem and you can't win with you guys. The people that act this way, you can't win with them. And is that what's wrong with this franchise? Just saying. Analysts talk about the roster from 2009 NFL. Oh, yeah, okay. That's so dumb. Where were we? You guys lit up the chat. I love it. American Militia, I think the combo of DK and GP will be phenomenal. But that's dependent. American Militia, you're absolutely right. They can be phenomenal. But it's dependent on who? It's dependent on who? George Pickens. DK's a professional, man. He's done it. He's got paid in this league. George has not. George has not proven to be that elite talent just yet. And yeah, there's flashes of it. We see it. We know it. But you can't put George Pickens in the tops of the NFL. He hasn't done it yet. The numbers aren't there yet. He hasn't proven himself. And it's not all about the numbers, guys. And I know a lot of you think that way, and that's okay. This is a very stat-driven league. This is a very stat-driven generation of fans, and that is okay. It is so okay. I get it. I get what you're looking at. But there's a lot more to football each and every snap that comes into play that you're ignoring. And if all 11 guys out there ain't busting their ass on every single play, not one person matters. Not one individual matters. And their stats don't matter. Because they're not going to win ball games, guys. You can't win with these types of people. And the Steelers used to know that. And I think they've lost their way because they become what, guys? Desperate. Absolutely freaking desperate. I saw an article from CBS Sports. An article from CBS Sports. I don't know who wrote it. I don't care. But talked about the scenarios. What if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Minnesota Vikings? What would be your pitch if you were the Vikings to get Aaron to come there? What would be your pitch if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers to get him to come there? And then there's the pitch of what if he retires? And it makes you wonder. Part of that pitch of if he retired was the Vikings really don't want you just yet. They don't really know if they want you just yet. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are a team that's just average, that aren't competing for anything, that's really kind of blah. That's how people refer to one of the greatest sports franchises out of any sport in the entire world, one of the cornerstone franchises of all of sports. And that's how people are thinking of your franchise right now, that you're just, And you've been like that for a long time. And you've just backed into the playoffs barely. I'm just saying, guys, it's crazy. What's up, Daniel Werman? I'm going to get to you guys' chats also here in a minute, so make sure you're hitting that like button, beating the shit out of that like button. Also, sharing the show, man. We truly appreciate it. We're about 22 minutes in. I'm on some rants today, but I will get to all your chat stuff. Definitely will, as I always do. Don't forget, let's light those memberships up again. I love that. Let's have some different people contribute tonight. Throw some memberships out there. Let's build that up. We're almost to 100 active members. That's 99 cents a month. Always will be 99 cents a month. I want to get that up to 1,000 eventually. But let's get that membership program cranking. It's 99 cents a month, guys. You can find that in your couch cushions. Thank you for all the members so far. Let's continue to do that and continue to provide you with one of the best live shows out there. We truly appreciate it. Again, I'm working on some other stuff where I'm going to try to get a lot of other perspectives for you guys ahead of the 2025 draft and during. And we're going to get that done. I've had some communications with several people, and I'm going to try to get you as many perspectives as we can. Again, guys, that's all contingent on finding time, finding available times to do shows and schedules matching up. So it may work, may not work, but we'll get there and we'll see how it goes. So yeah, we're going to continue to try to do that. I also saw something today too, talking about Aaron Rodgers there a second ago. Has Aaron Rodgers really been that successful in the NFL? Yeah, he has 4 MVPs. But when he was Aaron fucking Rodgers, when he was that guy, when he was at the height of his career, the man only has 1 Super Bowl appearance. And he's barely above 500 in terms of playoff wins. Is that something to be excited about? And if you're the Vikings or the Pittsburgh Steelers, does Aaron Rodgers give you the chance to go to the Super Bowl? I'm asking because, honestly, guys, Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to be a major winner inside of the playoffs. Yeah, he has 1 Super Bowl, but man, how long ago was that? And he beat the Steelers. But if you look at Aaron Rodgers and his overall playoff success, it's not really there. It's not there. I don't know. And it makes me ask that question of, does he make the Vikings or the Steelers instant contenders? I got to say, I don't think the answer it's probably not yes. It's probably not yes. And if you're the Vikings, you drafted J.J. McCarthy 10th overall. Why would you shy away from that? I know he's coming off an injury, but what the hell did you draft him 10th overall for if you're not going to let him play? Why do you come in and pay a guy like Aaron Rodgers $30 million? That's probably the price, guys, 30 or 35 million. And if you're the Steelers, it's probably 35 million. Why? Because you're trying to kiss his ass and you're showing your desperate hand. The Vikings probably get him for 30. The Steelers probably get him for 35. That's reality. That's reality. And if you're Aaron Rodgers coming to the Steelers in the desperate nature that they're in, does that give you a real feeling of stability? Does that give you a real feeling of a championship contender? I don't think so. Guys, these are all real questions, man. Real questions that are overlooked in a big way, man. Let's go. Daniel Warman, why wouldn't the Steelers sign Mike Hilton as a free agent? Thanks, Jason. It's not over just yet, Daniel. It's not over just yet. Players will be signed. More additions will be made as free agency works its way out. And again, I said that at the top of the show too, Daniel. Good to see you as always, my friend. There are players out there that can still help the Pittsburgh Steelers, or any team for that matter. So we'll continue to watch that and see how it goes. So don't count everybody out just yet on terms of signing people. Danny Ray 07, tell Aaron Rodgers to come on. Jalen Warren back full time. We are ready now. JD, George got talent. That's why I think we should wait. He does, and I respect it, JD. I respect it, brother. But can the attitudes, can the poor effort, can you overcome that if you're the Steelers? I don't think the Steelers franchise is built in the way just right now that they can deal with poor attitudes or shady players. I don't think you're in a position to overcome it. I just don't. I don't think the building's tight-knit enough. Yeah, you have players like TJ and Cam. I get it. But I still don't feel like the building's tight enough to withstand cancerous efforts. Or lack of effort, rather. It's tough, man. It's really tough. And if you look at this team, man, you look at the Steelers team and you say to yourself, the clock's ticking. You have TJ, you have Cam, you have Minka, you have all these players. But if you're the Steelers on defense, you got to change things up because I don't care who your quarterback is. You can't do what you did last year. You can't lack creativity. You got to make things happen. You got to move TJ Watt around. You can't make it so easy for a blocking scheme to be devised to neutralize TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. You just can't. And are you smart enough to get somebody inside of the NFL draft, or are you going to get Aaron Rodgers in the building and go after just weapons? And I can't fault him for that. You want to put weapons around every quarterback, no doubt, especially an old Aaron Rodgers. You want to give him as many weapons as you can. But do you reinforce that defensive front with a real stud? Will Kenneth Grant even be a guy that's there? What about Nolan? I'm just saying, some ideas. You got to do something there, guys. Mike Miller, what about Adam Schefter from Cincinnati Bengals? I looked at the internet going to the Steelers. Adam Schefter, Mike, he's a analyst for ESPN. Adam Schefter's probably not going to the Bengals. Tom Ford, if the Steelers do trade Pickens, they can get their second-round draft pick back. Maybe, Tom. Maybe. Is George Pickens worth a second-round pick? Would teams offer a second-round pick? DK Metcalf went for a second. And DK Metcalf's way better than George Pickens. I mean, he's way more established. I'm just saying, I don't know if he brings you a second. I'm guessing probably a third, maybe a second. That's where I'm at with that, maybe. But, Tom, you're right. Hopefully they would. And that's probably the only way they would trade George, is if they do recoup that second-round pick. because I think that's where they want to get their quarterback. And I think that that's where the first round is where they want to get their defensive front solidified. DJ Thomas in the house, still thinking Manning in the next draft year in the Berg. I would love it, DJ, but here's the reality of that situation. You're going to have to pick in the top couple. And the Steelers aren't going to have enough firepower probably to go up there. And we don't even know yet. Honestly, guys, I don't even know if I can tell you exactly how the 2025 draft's going to go, let alone the 2026 draft in Pittsburgh. Do I want to see them go out there and make a big splash? Absolutely, and I think they can do it with the amount of picks they're going to have, hopefully. But we don't even know how the Steelers are going to finish in 2025. They may be shitty, man. You might be picking in the top 5. You might be able to make a slight move and bundle all those compensatory picks together and slide up into a top spot, slide up into a number 1 overall or something, and get a guy like Arch. We don't know that yet. We don't know that just yet. And we don't know the exact value of every compensatory pick just yet either for 2026. I think they'll have 4 compensatory picks. It's going to be a sliding scale on Russell Wilson because, $10.5 million is fully guaranteed, so that'll go off of that initially. But you won't know until the season's over because of how that scale goes. He might make that 21.5. Too evil, too hope with the Super Chat. Super Chats are always open, guys. Let's also donate those memberships, man. Let's donate those shit out of those memberships. Just get your membership, 99 cents a month. Let's go to Too Evil, Too Hope. And his Super Chat, Tomlin has proved he doesn't need a team to win. He can do it himself. Extend Tomlin for 10 centuries. Yeah, Tomlin almost seems like he wants to do it himself, Too Evil. Honestly, my friend, you really kind of hit it there. It's all about that non-losing streak record is what it seems like. That's what the outsider's perspective is when you're looking in. No doubt about it. And it makes you frustrated as hell. But honestly, is it more just Mike Tomlin? Or is it the whole damn franchise? Because you know what, guys? You can't not blame Art Rooney. You can't not blame Omar, and you got to throw Kevin Colbert into that. You can't not blame those 2 guys. And you can't not blame Mike. I mean, guys, there's 4 or 5 guys that got to shoulder this blame. Because Art Rooney lets this shit go on. So he's got to be the number 1 culprit. Mike Tomlin is really the face of the franchise right now because you don't have a franchise quarterback. So Mike Tomlin's really the face of this franchise. It's all everybody talks about is Mike Tomlin. Too evil, too hope. And I know Too Evil, we joke about Tomlin a lot, but honestly, he might. It's what it seems like. So his comments not crazy. Downtown Joel Broadway. Yes, the NFL has become all show like WWF wrestlers acts and have been ruined by Pro Bowl antics of flag football. Flag football? Really? Yeah, the Pro Bowl is just something else. But you got to remember too, guys, as this league continues to add games, which it will add more games, I can guarantee you that. This is a long season. Guys get beat up. They're not going to be willing to go in the Pro Bowl and hit each other, man. They're just not. So the more games they add, the less extracurriculars that you'll have surrounding the league. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. Let's keep going here. Doug P., could you imagine having Rod and Mel on the field at the same time? Rod Woodson? That'd be fun, man. Steal life because Tomlin wants to be cool uncle with the players. Yeah, you can't be Uncle Mike, man. You got to be Mike the dictator, my friend. That's what you got to be. All right, guys, let's get those memberships hopping. Anybody want to donate memberships? Anyone want to just sign up for a membership? I really want to push those memberships. I think it's a really great way to help really help the channel, guys. And it's 99 cents a month. It could really take this channel into the next stratosphere and allow me to continue to do more and more and more for you guys. So Let's do that because it's 99 cents a month. So let's really push those memberships. If you want to give a super chat, go ahead and throw it in the way of memberships. Let's try to really drive those memberships tonight and move them forward as much as we can. Super chats are always open. We appreciate that. And liking the show is absolutely free and easy and an excellent way to support the channel. Daniel Warman, has Pickens proved his worth, or is he just a promising talent? I don't think he's worth a first-round pick. I don't think anybody gives you a first-round pick for Pickens, guys. The effort and the attitude issues aren't unnoticed by other people around the league. Let's be honest about that. And he is just a promising young talent. He hasn't proved enough yet in this league to get you to where you'd want to pay him top wide receiver money. He hasn't. Has he had flashes? Yes. Is he good? Yes. Is he ultra talented? Yes. Is he proven? No. The answer is no. He hasn't proved enough yet because he hasn't done it consistently. And whether that's quarterback play, whether that's schematics, whatever, it just still hasn't happened. All right, guys, I got to start skipping around in the chat here a little bit. Dylan D, I'll trade you Saquon. DM me. I would like Saquon. I don't know why you're saying Adam Schefter, Mike. I think you just read an article, buddy, and seen his name. Downtown Jason is preaching the truth. Amen, brother. Amen. Hey, man, appreciate it. It's all truth up in here, man. Adam is a person. Yeah. Justin Smith, drama queen receivers, and now soon to come drama queen quarterback. Laughing my ass off, trash Steelers. Does that really hurt? Guys, George Pickens and Aaron Rodgers, does that create a bad locker room dynamic? I don't know. I've never heard players really hate to play with Aaron Rodgers, so I don't know about that. But, man, it can't help. I mean, we could sit there and we could talk about it, but honestly, bad attitudes and poor effort, it doesn't help. You can't win with those guys. That comes from legends. That comes from common sense. You can't win with them. Get them off your team. Keeping up with the Kurtz kids. How do you feel about Justin Fields, big dog? I feel like he is extremely overpaid, guys. He went 4-2, man. He loses one of those games that the defense bailed him out of. That's 3-3. I mean, that's how quick that is. 3-3. Did Justin progress? Absolutely. Did he apply extreme effort? Absolutely. Did he work his ass off each and every day? Absolutely. Did he get better? Yes. But did he get $40 million better over 2 seasons? Guys, no. No. $30 million guaranteed better? No. These contracts, guys, when they say 40 or 30 million fully guaranteed, they get that when they sign their name on the dotted line. You all know that, right? The team can't make that money go away. They get that money. Right there. They get that money. I'm just saying, guys, sometimes you can. Why do you think teams like the Steelers don't like to give so much guaranteed money? Because they know they can't finagle out of those big-ass contracts. Because once that guaranteed money, once that player signs, it's over with that. That money's gone. It counts against the cap, it's gone. Just saying, guys. DJ, be hearing we could offer 49ers draft picks for Brock Purdy if Rodgers skips to Steel City. Guys, you're going to hear a ton of these rumors. You can only put so much stock into it, honestly. And you got to really, when you hear the rumors, you got to really look if they're realistic rumors. I don't think the 49ers are separating with Brock Purdy at this point. And honestly, if you're the Steelers, are you trying to pay Brock Purdy that kind of cash? I don't know. Does that quarterback fit into the roster? You don't know. It's a very difficult process to take on somebody else's quarterback. You want to know the best way to win in the NFL? It's to draft well. It's to do your homework. It's to build from within. It's from building inside of your own franchise and not constantly going out and trying to band-aid a situation. Build your own franchise through young talent, through the draft. Do you. Quit trying to be somebody else. Do you. That's my philosophy. Sean King, they're turning into the NFL version of the Pirates with a slightly better winning percentage. Can't lie, Sean. That's definitely the truth. Za giving the red card. Yes, I give the flag too, my friend. Mad, 30 million watt. Mason can play sometimes. Oh, you're talking about, 30 million is about where you're going to probably, the Steelers guys, I hate to break it to you. 35 million is going to be where the Steelers pay Aaron Rodgers. And you can believe me if you want to. You don't have to. But if he does sign with the Steelers and it's $35 million, remember I told you so. Ali Howard, assalamu alaikum. I can't say that right. Sup, Steeler family. Jay, Vikings don't want his old ass. We good with JJ? I wouldn't be so sure about that just yet. They've left the door open, you know. DJ Thomas, well, that's awful. The last time the Steelers made a Super Bowl was a L to Aaron Rodgers, which it was his last appearance as well. Who's worse? Do they need each other more than we think? Nightmare. The Steelers are in a little bit of a nightmare, guys. But you know what? They're in a manageable nightmare, and they have an excellent opportunity to set themselves up for the future. They just have to execute that. And I know a lot of people aren't on board with me saying that, but guess what? It's true, guys. It's true. They just got to navigate things correctly here over the next year or two, and the Steelers will be back to being a real formidable force with young, homegrown talent, back being competitive. But we'll see how that all goes. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button for us here on Steel City Live. It's absolutely free to do so. We need those likes to jump up. Also, let's get some memberships thrown out there. Really want to drive those memberships. Truly appreciate it, guys. Let's continue to move on here. Devin Burkett, I'd much rather have J.J. McCarthy than Aaron Rodgers or Kirk O'Chains. But here we are, looking desperate, even though we are a premier franchise in all of sports history. 6-time world champions. Yeah, and the Steelers have showed their desperation, man, and people are out there in the major news outlets reporting how desperate the Steelers are, and your franchise has now succumbed to being a franchise that looks desperate, and you don't want that. Are they a laughingstock? I don't know. But what? You know, people are saying that you look desperate. That's not a good look. All right, guys, make sure you become a Mic Drop Mafia member. You could get a chance to win this signed TJ Watt jersey once we hit our 10,000 subscriber mark. I know we can do it. We are well on our way. We only needed a few when I came into the show. Mr. Y-Man, welcome to the Mic Drop Mafia. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for joining as a member. That gets us up to 70 active members, guys. So 30 more members, man. We need 30 more, and we hit 100 active memberships. That's 99 cents a month. Thank you so much. Mr. Y, man, I appreciate that, my friend. Vikings Jerome, I got 10,000 subscribers. Awesome, man. Congratulations, Vikings Jerome. I'm glad you got that many, man. I built this from absolutely nothing. Here at Mic Drop Sports. This started out with me being the only subscriber to my own channel. One. And here we are with almost 5,000 subscribers. So I'm pretty proud of what we've done. And I'm always willing to, if anybody out there has a sports channel like this, if you ever need my help, man, I'm willing to help because I know what it's like not to get any help. And I'm always willing to help. So any creator out there that needs it, email me at micdropsports@yahoo.com. I'm always willing to do spot things and come on and talk and help. Truly appreciate it. Thank you, Kodak. I appreciate that, man. And that's coming from fans from other teams, too, that aren't just Steelers fans. And that definitely makes me feel good, definitely, that you guys recognize what I'm doing here and help contribute to the show each and every day. I appreciate that, Kodak. Doug P., if you give 40-year-old quarterback $35 million, you need to get your head examined. It's going to happen. If he comes to the Steelers, it's going to be $35 million, guys. I'm telling you now. I guarantee it's going to be $35 million. I guarantee it. Downtown says Mr. Rodgers ain't worth a cup of coffee at Bob Evans, and where Bob Nutting wouldn't be that dumbass to pay out that moolah. Bob Nutting don't pay anybody. I heard he has a hard time paying the staff up at Seven Springs when he owned that. Let's keep going, man. I got to keep going, guys. Let me skip down through the chat a little bit, give everybody a chance. D in the house. Pickens played great and even blocked when Mason was quarterback. Just saying. Yeah, but he still had his times, D. He still had his times of lack of effort, even when Mason was playing. It really hasn't, did he have his greatest games? Absolutely. He had his best game ever with Mason under center. But I don't know if just Mason fixes it for George. I think George has to look deep within himself. I think George needs to take his ass to church or something and find himself a little bit and let God help him out. He can't win a playoff game. That's for Mr. Y, man. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. Oh, shit. Almost reported somebody accidentally. D says Tomlin and the person that keeps him hired deserve all the blame. Yeah, no doubt about it. Devin Burkett, we cannot allow incompetence to soil or tarnish the legacy of the greatest franchise to ever exist. We should have already double-digit Lombardis, but are continually sabotaging our seasons. Yeah, and I don't know if it's sabotage, what it is, but man, the Steelers have had a lot of success and they've had a lot of heartaches. And each one has to be looked at as learning lessons, and I hope the Steelers start to take this last decade here and really start to learn from the mediocrity, because if you're just being mediocre, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Guys, I say it all the time. It's about chasing Lombardis, not about just being okay. I've said that since I started this channel, that mediocrity is not what you're looking for, man. It's not. Hell, I ride myself here. I feel like I've been comfortable doing my shows this way. I've tried to change a couple times, and, it didn't work out. It wasn't the exact moment, but I need to strive for more. I want to be better. So I know how mediocrity sometimes and just being complacent, what it can get you. It stunts your growth as a franchise, and you got to recognize that. AM, welcome to the Mic Drop Mafia as a new member. Appreciate that. 99 cents a month, guys. Get yourself a membership. Join one of the best channels on YouTube. That's right here. We truly appreciate you guys talking football. And don't forget, if you're a Mafia member, you're going to get a chance at this signed TJ Watt jersey. You are going to get a chance to win that, and I'm going to get it authenticated and all that good shit for you. So you are going to be able to get a chance at that. So make sure you are a Mic Drop Mafia member. Gunja King B. The standard is the standard in Pittsburgh. 9-8 and losing the playoffs. How sad is that, though, that the fan base believes that's the standard? Has that become the standard? Are we blowing it out of proportion? Should we recognize the Steelers are trying to rebuild this franchise? Guys, some teams it takes 20 years of being bad, of being losers, Should we be thankful that we're not going through that? I think the answer is no to that question. And regardless whether the Steelers are in a rebuild or not, I appreciate the fan base of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I appreciate each and every one of you and your desire to be good. That you have no low expectation of They're rebuilding, guys. We should just be happy with what we get. I don't subscribe to that, man. I only subscribe to winning. I only subscribe to giving 120,000% each and every time you step out onto that football field. That's the only thing I subscribe to. That's all I care about. It's not about anything else for me, guys. And I think that it shouldn't be about anything else for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whether you got the best players in the league on your roster or you're just a bunch of average NFL players on that roster, you got to come together as a team. You got to work your ass off, and you got to have what counts, heart. And you got to have that desire to win, and everything else will sort itself out. The wins will come. It's just the way it's got to go. Too evil, too hope. I don't understand why Yinzers are done with Tomlin. You never lose. Yeah, you never lose, but you're never good. I don't know. 10 wins is good. My real problem with Tomlin is the lack of playoff success. That's where I really get problems. I really have trouble with getting embarrassed on national stage every time, man. It bothers me. When you got your ass whooped, and I know the final score wasn't indicative of an ass whooping in Baltimore, 28-14. That was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers took the field with Russell Wilson under the helm, which I want to talk about Russ a little bit, signed with the Giants and what he talked about. But that was the last time the Steelers took the field, and they scored 14 points in the third quarter. That's all they scored the whole game. But you saw a football team that got punched in the mouth, and they weren't able to rebound. They had an unwillingness to change during that football game, and that's a direct reflection of Mike Tomlin, and that bothered me greatly with the Steelers. You got punched in the mouth in that game instead of just trying to really start to change things up through the course of the game. I'm not saying you abandon your game plan completely, but you got to start to make noticeable changes. How about perhaps going back to what you did against Lamar Jackson that's been so successful over your time playing against him? Instead of crashing down on the running back with TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, you allow them to crash down on Lamar Jackson and not to expect the safety coming in to clean it up. That one right there, guys, gets you in big trouble. Do what you did. Go with what was working before. Don't outsmart yourself. That was a simple adjustment in that football game that they could have switched back to that they didn't. When you didn't score no points for 2 quarters of that football game in a row, why didn't you throw Justin Fields in there and try to get a spark? Why, if you're Mike Tomlin, are you so hung on the jockstrap of Russell Wilson that you couldn't make that change? And I'm not saying Justin's better than Russ. I'm not saying that. But you needed a spark. You needed to change. You needed to adapt. And you didn't do that. And that's what scares me, guys, about this coaching staff. That's what scares me about Mike Tomlin moving forward. His unwillingness to change, his in-game adjustments suck ass. Patrick Charles, no, he's not worth the trouble. Let's keep going. Zach Curry, playoffs and Super Bowls mean nothing. MVPs only. Sleeping lady in the house, don't blame him. That's a lot of money in a bag right now to walk away from, knowing your career hasn't gone as well as expected. You're talking to Justin about Justin? Yeah, I don't blame him for taking that money either. I would have too. Getting ready to watch Maryland whoop the Gators and move on to the Final Four. That's from D. Again, welcome to the new members. Let's keep going with that. AM High, glad to be a member from Glasgow, Scotland. Thank you, man. Glasgow? I don't know. Glasgow, I believe is how you say it. But welcome from Glasgow, Scotland. Appreciate to have people from over the pond, man. That's very awesome. We have some other people come in from Germany, Mexico, play other countries, Canada. And we appreciate all of you guys that are outside of the continental United States, especially people that become Mike Drop Mafia members and join the community of fans. It's absolutely awesome, man. Truly, truly appreciate you guys. Ready to watch my Terps whoop the Gators and move to the Final Four. Okay. Good luck, D. I hope you guys win, buddy. Zah Curry, TJ Watt gets double teamed every play. Zah, it ain't even double teamed, man. What are they doing to TJ? Why is TJ so ineffective at times here lately? If you're an opposing offense, how easy is it to guard against the Steelers? They play the heads-up 3-4 defensive front. They don't adjust. They don't mix it up. They don't do anything necessary to make any real concerted changes along that defensive front. And if you're a running back, what's your main job against TJ Watt? They chip TJ Watt. And then you can use a tight end to help control Alex Highsmith. It's a very easy way to eliminate the Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush. And you're not really getting anything from up the middle. Cam Hayward had a phenomenal year. I'm just saying you need some run stuffers there, and you need to be a little bit more exotic. And how easy it is that TJ Watt just gets chipped because he's playing the same spot over and over and over and over with nothing different about it. You know what to do with him. And that's a TJ problem, and that's a schematic problem. That's those two things combined. And how easy is it to defend? Another super chat coming in from AM. I believe it was from AM with a $10 super chat. Thank you so very much, man. Keyman, the TJ has publicly said that he is a one-helmet player. Yeah, of course he's a one-helmet player, no doubt. You're not going to let him walk away if you're the Steelers. Yeah, it is a TJ Watt problem, no doubt. Schematic problem, a TJ Watt problem, no doubt. Because it's not all on the schematics, but TJ Watt got to recognize sometimes you got to adjust. You got to move around a little bit and be more willing to do different things to create some chaos, guys. Playing defensive football isn't as cut and dry as some people think. Playing defensive football is all about keeping an offense guessing. It's all about a Dick LeBeau style. And I'm not saying you need to bring blitzes constantly or anything like that, but the style of Dick LeBeau was to be confusing, was to be very, very, very awkward for offenses to guard against. That's what you're looking for. You want that defense to come out and really make the offense uneasy because, one, they don't know where that pressure's coming from because anybody could be coming. You don't know who that is. And you're moving players around. There's a lot of movement. It's not all about offensive pre-snap movement. There's defensive pre-snap movement, too, that makes sense, that can get you into better situations. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to do some things that are a little different. You have an offensive player go into motion. You have that slot guy. He's going to go into motion, or a wide receiver on the right. He's going into motion on the left. He's taking off. Yeah, your corner, who's guarding him? They're following him, but all of a sudden, they drop off, and they don't follow him anymore. And when that ball's snapped, when that player's going into motion, that player's blitzing, and somebody else is picking him up. That comes with, though, being exotic. That comes with being comfortable playing with the same people for a while, knowing what each other's going to do, understanding the assignment. Being complex. That was just a simple thing I was talking about. Just little things like that you don't even see the Steelers defense do. Little things. All right, guys, super chats are always open. Thank you for the super chats so far. Thank you for the new members so far. Let's keep going. Add some new members. We truly appreciate anybody donating memberships. Let's hit 100 Mike Drop Sports memberships. Let's try to do that. We'll go for a little bit longer. Don't forget to double tap that screen. It's absolutely free to hit that like button. Let's keep going into the chat. TJ Watt did nothing in the wild card game by a rookie tackle on the Ravens. Yeah, and you got to blame some of that on TJ and some of that on the defensive scheme. Doug P., all these people who are saying no losing seasons are great are from the participation trophy era. They don't get it. Yeah, participation trophies don't do it for me, my friends. They don't do it for me. I don't want to just be there. I want to be the reason that we're there. I want to be a champion. I want to be a contributor. I want to be a legend. That's how I would want to approach the game. 3-11 is Lamar's record against the Steelers. Yes, I mean, he doesn't have a fantastic record against the Steelers. I thought he was 4-11 now. 3-11, though, sounds right. But yeah, Lamar Jackson owns the Steelers according to Ravens fans and according to the NFL media insiders, these experts that know the NFL so much. Lamar Jackson owns the Steelers. He's the greatest. I don't know about that, my friends. Look at the numbers. Everybody wants to talk about the numbers until they don't benefit them. Just saying. Sleeping Lady, I'm wondering if Cleveland is picking Sanders at number 2. I heard his dad won't let them go there. Won't let him go there. I don't know, Sleeping Lady. I could see Shador sliding in this draft, and I don't know if that's a good thing, a bad thing for him. It's probably a good thing for Shador. And a lot of people were like, oh, no, this quarterback's going to slide. If you're one of these quarterbacks that are supposed to be picked in the top part of the draft, you probably pray that you slide because you go to a better team, guys. You go to a better opportunity. Do you think these guys want to go to the fucking Panthers and Jaguars and Cardinals and these shitty franchises? I'm just naming shitty franchises. I don't care. I'm not even thinking about if they have a quarterback or not. I'm just saying, if you're a young man coming into this league, do you want to play for a shitty franchise? Hell no, you don't. You do what you got to do to make that bag, but you don't want to. When they get up there and they're like, I'm so grateful to go to the Arizona Cardinals. Can't wait. Bullshit. Bullshit. Another super chat from AM. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Get yourself a beer, my friend, from Alan M. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that, my friend. Now I'll remember your name, Alan. I definitely try to remember people. I know their screen names are usually different, but I try to remember as much as possible. I remember a lot of people's names on here, but thank you again. I will definitely do that, man. Go out. Maybe my wife and I will go out and have a drink or two. Truly appreciate that. Thank you, man. Dwayne Duncan, the Ravens and Lamar fans are the worst. I'm a Bills and Allen fan. I can't stand them. It's tough, man. But you know what, Dwayne? You guys are in the same boat. You both have quarterbacks that can't reach the big game. You're in the same boat right now. And does that bother you? It bothers me. I'm a fan of both players, guys. And I know people may think that I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson. I am. I think he's a good dude. I just don't think he's a franchise quarterback. I'm a fan of Josh Allen. And I think he can be a franchise quarterback, but he can't win a big game either. Just saying, guys. And when I'm saying big game, I'm talking AFC Championship. I'm talking Super Bowls. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the big games, guys. Those are the big ones. Got to get there. You got to get there to put, at least for me, to put you in that top shelf. To put you up on that top shelf. You got to get there, guys. All right, my friends, we got to double tap that screen, hit that like button, send us out into that YouTube algorithm. We truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Join us here at Mike Drop Sports each and every single day. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so far for the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for everybody that's subscribed and became a Mike Drop Mafia member to help support our work, guys. There are ways in the channel bio you can find ways to help support our work. Again, super chats are always open. Mike Drop Mafia memberships are open at 99 cents a month. That is all. 99 cents a month will always be 99 cents a month. All right, let's get going. Black and gold, hello to all. I'm just ready for some Steelers football this season. Funny thought popped into my head. We know how Pittsburgh likes signing family. Con drafts wide receiver Dino Tomlin. I don't think so, man. I don't think Dino gets drafted. That'd be a good one, though. Oh, Jamal McCullum missed the show today. My bad, my brother. I know it was a good one, though. Hey, Jamal, we always appreciate you, bro. You ain't going to be able to make them all. We truly appreciate you, though, brother. Robert Rhodes says TJ Watt is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is not easily replaced. No, he's not. Not easily replaced at all. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer. TJ Watt is the highest paid player on our team. There's no excuse for him to not be able to beat his man one-on-one, but he's not getting one-on-ones. That's the problem, Jamal. He gets chipped every play. That's how they contain TJ. They chip him every play, man. Doug Peace, still not sold on Sanders. He only did well against weak teams. Even in his final bowl game, he got smacked until another team went to the stupid prevent and played off the ball. Yeah, Doug, I get what you're saying, but you got to look at something about Shedeur Sanders. He's playing behind an offensive line that's virtually non-existent, and yet still completed over 70% of his passes at a collegiate level, especially at Colorado, and that's really special. And again, I don't think a lot of people look at that statistic, and many people don't reach that stat. So that's got to be looked at, guys. Shedeur Sanders is highly accurate with the football in terms of his ability to complete it, and definitely got to be taken into consideration when you're talking about Shedeur Sanders. He's athletically gifted. He's a tough kid. He's a smart kid. He's raised right. He's a man of God. Shedeur checks all the boxes for me, but does he check the big box? Is he a guy that's going to win you the championship? That's the question. That's the one you got to dig down deep when you're evaluating him. That's the one you got to ask yourself if you're a general manager. And if you can't answer that question, if that answer doesn't come to you when you're evaluating him, you know he's not the right choice for you. But I love him. Think about the Super Bowl Tomlin won. Ben and Holmes won that game. Yeah, man, you had a special player, and you're always going to have special players that win the big games, guys. You know, I know we look at Tomlin, and I know I'm hard on Tomlin, man, and I think I'm justified in that. But you're always going to have special players out there, man. You don't get it done without special players. And Santonio Holmes was a special talent of his time, man. Ben Roethlisberger. You look at Aaron Rodgers, and everybody talks about the MVPs, and everybody says how great Aaron Rodgers is and how much better he was than Ben Roethlisberger, and I don't think that to be true. Ben Roethlisberger played in 3 Super Bowl games. Regardless if the defense helped him get there, I don't want to hear it. He played in 3 Super Bowl games, winning 2 of them. How many Super Bowls has Aaron Rodgers played in? The answer to that question is 1. And Ben Roethlisberger has played in a couple more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers. And has won more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers. And is part of Steelers franchise history. Being part of the only 2 real times the Steelers have been absolutely super. Just saying. Rob Lightfoot, a true baller would rather go to a sorry team because a baller always believes he can do anything. I'm so good that I can turn Cleveland into a championship. Well, I hope you do, Rob Lightfoot. Get to Cleveland, baby. You know who lives up near Cleveland's Challenger. Where you been, Challenger? I ain't seen you. Patrick Charles, Sanders, or Manning? Which quarterback do we go after? It's hard to say, Charles, and probably neither are going to be able to go after. You're probably not going to be able to go after neither. The realistic options for this year in 2025, because, guys, I don't know about 2026. Nobody does. I don't freaking know. None of you know. I don't know. Nobody out there knows. Because you got to let this season unfold first. Quit trying to rush everything. But for this year, the realistic options are probably Tyler Shuck or Will Howard. That's the 2 realistic options the Steelers have to become their next quarterback in the city of Pittsburgh as a young player. All right, guys, double tap that screen. Super chats are always open. Like it up. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Also, memberships, 99 cents a month. Get yourself one. We are almost at 100 paid active members, and I love it, guys. That is absolutely awesome. And the more we get going here, guys, and let me start to wind this thing down here a little bit. We've been going 70 minutes. The more you guys help with those little things like the likes and the shares and the memberships, the 99-cent memberships, the more you guys help with that, the more I can start to dedicate to this. I'm monetized channel. I make money off of this. Yes. Is it enough though to do this constantly? No. But we can build it to that, and I am willing to go out there and bust my ass for you guys. So let's build it up for that, and let's continue to try to do that and make this better and better. And the more time I can spend doing it, the better it's going to be. So let's just aim for that. And I appreciate all your help, man. It's been absolutely awesome. And we built this from the dirt, man. We built this from nothing, man. And that's all because of you guys. So definitely awesome. So let's wind this down. Again, thank you for your support. Don't forget, if you're a Mic Drop Mafia member, you could get a chance at a signed TJ Watt authentic game jersey. We truly appreciate that. So make sure you are part of the Mafia. And until tomorrow, guys, I'm Jason. Thank you for another great show here on Steel City Live. Thank you, my friends. See you tomorrow.